Hello, Libra. That was kind of funny the way that I said that just now, wasn't it? So let me light some Palo Santo real quick. How are you all doing? I hope you all are very well. My opposite sign there, fellow cardinal sign though. And we may be more alike than you think, because I am ruled by air. My chart is like literally 70% air, guys. Crazy, crazy. Whew. But anyway, I have a feeling about this reading today that I am doing for you. It's going to be good because I am doing this reading for you guys right during the full moon in your sign. And right before I turn the camera on, the weather got crazy. I mean, it's been calm all day. Of course, there's been a little bit of clouds. It's been a little overcast, as it is pretty much always when there's a full moon. However, right before I turn the camera on, there we go. Let's cleanse a little bit. Palo Santo. Right before I turn the camera on, the air and the rain got insane. Doing a little rhyming there for you. No, but seriously, to the point where my windows were shaking and opening and closing. I have a couple of Jaloise, I don't know, windows, which are the kind that, it's two windows that open. You wind them open and it's for airflow. So those windows were going boom, boom, clapping open and closed. So that was interesting because now it's stopped. Now it's calm again. So that might say something to you. That might be of significance to you because maybe that is sort of similar to how you've been feeling recently. Now, I want to say I am sorry. I want to apologize for missing the last 3 months to those of you that are subscribed to me and this is strong. Wow. Have remained subscribed to me. And I want to say as well, thank you very much for doing that, for staying subscribed to me. I very much appreciate that. And I'm going to make this a more consistent effort, something that I do more, on a monthly basis. The last 3 months, guys, have been just so hectic for me personally, maybe for you as well. First 2 months, just so much going on in my own personal life with family and health and things like that, where I just absolutely was not allowed, basically, to focus on anything having to do with myself, which includes these readings. Oof, I need to move that. It is so strong. Okay. Wow. Planetary cycles. So funny, because, again, it's the full moon in your sign, and I was just about to say that I believe it's because of the cycles and the planets' alignments that have happened recently. And then the third month, March, my birthday month, was just, I literally could not get anything done. Probably because of the Mercury retrograde. That probably had something to do with it. As I say that, friends, the twins come up. Because I'm ruled by Mercury, though. I'm Gemini rising, Gemini moon. And so truly it was like trying to walk through old mud that is stuck. You know what I mean? Mud that's up to my knees, basically, is the way I would describe it. So I apologize for that, very much so. Wow. And if you care, if you don't, it's all good. You don't have to watch it. But if you do care to know why, I have been telling everybody all the signs, and I'm telling you now that I will be doing a separate video kind of just explaining things that have been going on in my life for the first 3 months of this year, and just kind of why I was absent. So I'm gonna assume, especially since every single reading I've done thus far has been pretty long, I'm gonna kind of go with this one being long as well. So what I want to say before I get into this is that I'm doing these readings a little differently for any of you who have seen the readings before. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and I'm so happy to have you here. But for those of you that have seen before, you know that I do usually use several oracle card decks for different areas of life: mind, body, spirit, and love. But this time I am using a different deck, Trust Your Vibes Oracle, that I bought for my birthday for myself. And what I'm going to do for this month, we'll see how it goes. It might not be a permanent thing, but for this month at least, I'm doing the 4 weeks of the month. So for everybody, for you guys as well, obviously, the reason I'm saying that is because that way you'll know basically first 2 weeks of the oracle cards, whether this reading is for you or not. And you don't have to waste, over an hour watching the entirety of the read, because it will probably be an hour at least, or at most. All right, guys, so let's see. Okay, so what I was just doing was the way that I start all the videos, and even the ones in the past, was shuffling for an archangel card for you, which represents the archangel that is with you, you can call upon in times of need, and also that has a message for you in this month of April. And you got Archangel Raphael, which is the healer of all of the archangels, and the holy healer, literally. You got communion. Okay, so let's just check this out. I'm just going to go ahead and read it right away. Okay, communion. Raphael's oracle reminds you of the great Islamic tradition of the Hajj, an annual pilgrimage to Mecca, where pilgrims celebrate a communion with their early brothers and sisters in face of the divine. The objective is the twofold rite of collective petition and praise of the divine. Therefore, observe where communion is not apparent in your life. Know that the source is within you, ever present and all wise, wishing you to reveal the joy of your life in your heart, which possesses true insight. Chant Om 3 times, that's O-M, to align with the communion of the holy angels, and Raphael will show you the way. Aiden, get down. Get down. My cat, sorry. Get down! She's being bad. Chewing on a fake plant, in case you wanted to know. Okay, so that's very interesting. And the reason why I find this particularly interesting for you guys, Libra, of course, is because of the fact that, your sign and the house of you, 7th house, represents that communion and relationships between two. The way that you relate to others. How do you relate to others? And has there been any type of struggle with that recently? Underlying this is interesting as well, because you may find that your superpower and your insight and your intuition comes or is the best within you when you and your relationships are smooth sailing. Because if you're born as a Libra rising or a Libra sun, that is the main purpose of what you need to embody in this lifetime. And so this is what I'm saying is underlying communion is divine intelligence. That's why I get that from this. And this also particularly, I feel, includes your lineage. Do you know about your history? And I don't mean your immediate family. I'm speaking more of your, oops. Hold on a second. There we go. I'm speaking more of like your ancestors, your lineage dating back however far you can go. I would definitely look into that, because you may find and you may uncover some things that you were unaware of that bring a lot of light to you regarding your own self as well, and regarding your family, and it allows you to, for some reason I'm getting right now, allows you to release some baggage or some shackles that you may have had within you regarding family members or regarding lineage. So yeah, that's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay. So like I said, for this month, I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I've done it in the past. Just testing this out. We'll see how it goes. So again, I'm going to be shuffling this oracle deck for 4 cards for the 4 weeks of the month. And yes, it still applies, even though we're in the middle of the month. This will really help you to understand possibly what's been going on for the last 2 weeks, and then how to proceed forward. Vibe check. Check your vibes, guys. Check your vibes. And I will use tarot to clarify, of course, once we're done getting all 4 of these oracle cards, okay? Okay, Libra, first week of April. What happens, Libra? What is the message for Libra during the first week of this month in April? Is that even? Okay. Oh, shit. Shoot. That's so funny. Not funny, but yeah. I was so focused on perfecting the thing that this all flew out all sloppily. Vibe check. So maybe that's something to say about what you've been doing. Maybe that applies to you in some way, that you've been focused on perfecting some type of project in the first week, that you maybe were neglecting your relationships. And it's so weird that this comes right after communion. It's a team effort. I always see this card as showing us, again, what I was just saying. Your intuition, your energy, particularly your energy flow, is enhanced or depleted based on your relationships. You are either charged up or you're charging others, and there needs to be balance with that. Particularly if you want to complete this project that you've been focusing so much on. And I say that because it's number 37 on this card, which, if you break that down, 3 plus 7 is 10, and that's the number of completions. This has been a theme I've been seeing for almost every reading so far, is the idea of, because 10 is completion, but 10 can also be broken down to 1, which is a beginning, a new beginning. So the idea I've been seeing for almost every reading is the in-between, this in-between of right at the end and right before the beginning, which is a beautiful place to be, because that is where most magic does occur. No, Aiden. Psst. No. She keeps wanting to eat this fake plant. I don't know why. Aiden. Psst. But she's being quiet, which is really interesting. So this is, 2, 4, 6, 7. Have you felt alone? Possibly. Have you been feeling very alone? Underlying this is downtime. That's really interesting. So this makes me feel actually like you've been feeling recently as well the need to separate from the clan, I guess, because you've been feeling like the only one giving all of your energy. You feel like you're the sole provider, the only one providing everybody, and they're all looking to you for that life force energy, which isn't fair. I agree. But it's also not healthy for you to completely seclude, which is why we had communion there as well. Downtime has definitely been necessary. So I'm assuming that in the first week, because you felt maybe depleted, possibly, that you did take this downtime. But hopefully you are aware or reminded of the fact that life is a team effort, and that your vibes, your energy, at the end of it all, at the end of the day, is truly up to you. It's like that quote, if it is to be, it is up to me, right? Wow. Okay. So crazy, because I was just talking about your being recharged or depleted of energy, and on this card is a battery, first and foremost, with a heart on it. And there's also the sun and the moon, and not all of these cards have the sun or the moon. A lot of them have the sun on them, but not both, and some of them don't have either. But what's more is that the primary image on this card is a flashlight with a person within it, with their head where the light is, and what looks like it could be a sunflower where the light is. And obviously it's titled Mentors and Role Models. So it's telling me maybe you haven't felt you've had the best mentors and role models, but you can search for them. Again, your vibes are up to you to either make better or correct. Search for the higher wisdom. Maybe in the second week you did do that, or you felt the need to do that. Something, though, I feel touched your heart, and that particularly is what turned the light bulb on for you in the second week, and made you maybe feel balanced by balancing your heart, your emotions, and your ego or your physical self. It made you feel alive by finding some type of higher wisdom through a mentor or role model. It could have been anywhere. It could have been on YouTube or whatever. Maybe you watched a talk. Maybe you watched an interview. Maybe it doesn't really matter what it was, but something sparked something within you in the second week, I believe. And the reason I say higher wisdom or knowledge is because it's number 18, which breaks down to number 9. And that is the house of higher wisdom, knowledge, sometimes sometimes esoteric knowledge. Also the house of Sagittarius. So you may have a Sagittarius or two in your life, or Sagittarius in your chart. Wow, that was sloppy again. What is up with me? Third week, guys, which is what we're in right now. Meditate. Wow, that is so crazy, because I left my TV on last night. I'm going to tell you this. I left my TV on last night, and somehow, some way, what I woke up to, because YouTube, I had it on YouTube, and YouTube plays random videos on its own, basically, sometimes having nothing to do with each other. A lot of times it is, they are related. But either way, somehow I woke up to that Katy Perry live stream from like a year ago. And it was during a scene or a part where She had, is this her name? I have to look this up because I don't even know for sure. I think Casey Musgraves or something. Yeah, Casey Musgraves. It was her and Casey Musgraves, and they were singing acoustically the song Follow Your Arrow Wherever It Goes. And I was just talking about Sagittarius, and their symbol in the zodiac and their constellation is that of the archer, you know, with the arrow, the bow and arrow. And look what we have here. Meditate on which way you need to go. Take the time to do that. There's no better act of self-love that you could do. And I feel, especially like if you've had trouble doing that in the past, or if you've had trouble coming to the solution or conclusion, that in this third week, probably due to the full moon in your sign and any other alignments, that whoever I'm picking up on and reading for has in their birth chart, which you should look up if you don't know, you are going to come to some major light bulb moment, like I said about this. And if you did come to that conclusion on the second week, well, this is telling you to meditate on that and integrate it into you. Integrate it into your soul and your body. I feel you should take time every day, just a few minutes a day, to do this. And meditating, by the way, I feel guided to say this, is not about stopping or controlling thoughts ever. It's about observing them and not being attached to them, not being affected emotionally by them, but watching them, observing them, and letting them pass by. Or watching them and observing them and maybe working out what they mean by not seeing them in such a detrimental way, perhaps, if your thoughts are that way. Kind of seeing where they come from, though. Okay, so the fourth week of this month, guys. Last week of April for Libra. Follow your arrow wherever it goes. That was like what I kept hearing. It was a nice way to wake up, I have to say. Made me feel good to know that my guides led me to that, I guess. For whatever reason, I don't know why it was why it was presented to me in that form, but I'm not questioning it really. I actually quite like Katy Perry, and I think she's a very deep and interesting person. Misunderstood by some people. Wow. What? Okay, this is really interesting because these are kind of conflicting somewhat messages, but number one, the main message for you guys for the fourth week is to stay in your own skin. Wow. And again, we have this like light bulb right above the person. Staying in your own skin is like presenting you with the realization that you can turn that light bulb on anytime you want, and you can choose whether you sink or you are floating or swimming. You can also anchor yourself if you're floating. But to see through your own eyes, be aware of that, be conscious of that, make it a point and an effort to see through your own lens in every moment. Ask yourself, are you in your body fully when you're looking and observing the world? Be your own authority by grounding into yourself, settling into yourself. This is card number 26, which breaks down to 8, which the number 8 is your own, being in your power and being your own authority. Remembering the magic that you are. What's interesting, though, is that underlying that is fake it till you make it. There's an open cage. There's, obviously the drama or the comedy and drama faces for acting. And there's a stage. There's the sun in the background, stars, growing plants, and 3 doves. So this has to do with your communication, I believe. Maybe you've developed a certain communication style that you're trying to change. And you're not very pleased with it, perhaps, for some of you. And you would like to embody more of your mentor or your role model that you have found way of communicating because you connect to it. There's a reason why you are attracted to this mentor or role model, to be somebody that you look up to, because it's something in your soul that gets activated when you listen to the person. So yes, it's okay to say, maybe I haven't been communicating the way that I intended, or the way that I really want to express myself to those people in my life that I love and care for, or just generally speaking, the outside world. And I say this is linked to this is because both numbers on the cards, 1 and 8 and 4 and 5, obviously break down to 9. So again, fake it till you make it. So in each moment, be aware in your body. So be so in your body that you're able to flip your automatic responses to being what it is that you are looking up to. And eventually, how long does it take, right? For a habit to form or for a habit to break? I believe it's like 40 days or something, and possibly even less. It might be like just a month, okay? For some people, even less. Who knows? The point is, it's time for a little change, okay? Little change, which you are completely capable of. Because maybe you've been seeing that some form that you have unconsciously been communicating with has not been serving you. And you finally have seen that. You finally noticed that and realized. So I feel led to pull you one extra card before we get into clarifying all of these. Excuse me. I feel led to pull you a Universe Has Your Back affirmation card to see what comes through for you, Libra. Team effort, mentors, role models, meditate, stay in your own skin. Okay. Libra. Libra. Oh. Wow, clearly that's way too much. I'm just going to shuffle again. Oh, did you just see that? Holy shit. I just flicked that out with my hand unintentionally. So I feel like this is your card. I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness, Libra. And look at that. It's an owl closing its eyes. Owls represent that absolute wisdom and knowledge, that higher wisdom like I was talking of. But besides just this card that so crazily came out the way it did, I feel it's extremely important for you to know what's underlying this. And they kind of, look at how they match in a sense. Underlying this card is crazy too, because look, the last 2 weeks have these cards with the stars and the darkness behind them. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. The teacher of love. Yes. Wow, Libra. That's awesome. So communion too, I'm getting for some reason right now, could apply to you communing with yourself, with your higher self. Very much so. So let's get down to business now. We are going to clarify the Chariot movement. We're going to clarify using tarot. All the cards I'm using will be in the description box below, of course. Okay, so let's see what I'm going to do here. I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to do 2 cards per oracle to clarify, okay? So yeah, especially since 2 is a very balanced number, and that is you, Libra. Are you balanced? Are you feeling... I feel you guys have been feeling slightly off balance, of course, from what I have already received in this oracle spread. Yeah, so... And you may have been, I think also you may have been feeling imbalanced in terms of your relationships. And as I say that, the 6 of Scrolls or the 6 of Wands, which is totally a card that represents you, because, I mean, not wands, sorry, swords. Because swords are the air element. And you could say an elephant is a very stabilizing, strong, majestic creature. So if your relationships are off balance, you've been feeling unstable, off balance. You've felt a lack of your own magic, maybe. You've felt a lack of calmness and peace, maybe, in the first 2 weeks at least. feel we're good. We're good. Let me just take a sip of water, guys. Okay. Libra, can you clarify the first week for Libra? It's a team effort. First week for Libra. Are you serious? Okay. As I was shuffling for this, I was thinking in my mind, can we please have 2 cards? But normally I get 1 card at a time. Well, these 2 cards came out, excuse me, at the same time, which is very interesting to me. Let's see here. Okay. How do we interpret these together? Let's see. 5 of Mirrors or 5 of Cups. And the 2 of Stones or 2 of Pentacles. Now, I wasn't and I'm not reading any of the cards reversed for this month. However, they did come out this way. They came out with the 5 of Cups reversed, which tells me that this is probably more the energy of the positive interpretation of this card. Because the 5 of Cups, of course, can represent, some kind of disappointment or some kind of mourning you're in the process of. Perhaps a loss, kind of a grieving period. But on the plus side, it's finding peace and accepting whatever this is and, moving forward. Moving forward, I believe you're moving forward from something, from some type of major change that happened. It might even be a relationship because, again, the team effort aspect, and then 2 of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles represents, obviously, balancing, but also being adaptable. So balancing and having, your priorities correct and in order. So that might tell me, or that might represent, and it does tell me, that perhaps your relationships, your team has needed that. And maybe in the first week, there was a brief period that you did take time away and it felt like a loss. However, you needed that to integrate. Look at this person. They look very peaceful in this deck's imagery, right? They're kind of just, and it also kind of looks like a balancing thing. They're balancing, but they're kind of just reviewing these memories, these emotions, and kind of just integrating them in a peaceful way. They're meditating. And then, of course, this is the balancing. So you feel the balance now. You understand how to balance. You understand the balance between work in relationships and whatever else. But you feel you're finally able to not be all in one thing and neglecting another. I feel like the first week really helped you to figure out how to find that balance. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Oh, man. So yeah, okay. Second week. Oh. Really interesting. Mentors and role models. You get the Sojourner or the King of Cups, King of Mirrors. Second card. Mentors and role models. Wow. Okay. Wow. 2 Cups cards. And the Empress on the bottom of the deck underlying those energies. The Empress, nurturing the feminine energies. That emotional, receptive self. Emotional, receptive side. Finding the balance with your maybe more masculine and feminine energies, whether you're male or female. It doesn't matter. All right, so the King. Yeah, 100%. Mentors and role models. And we remember the sun and the moon, which is the male and the female. Positive and negative. A full heart. That's what this is. The King of Cups is a man who is very compassionate and mature with their emotions. They are they aren't reactive. They're calm. Very compassionate, as well as sympathetic toward others. A very loyal person. A very good father figure. So maybe some of you are fathers or becoming fathers, and it took the first week's energies to understand how to be a better mentor and role model, a better father, because you took the time to understand how to balance all of that. Again, your work-life balance. Some of you, I'm getting as well, may have gone into counseling. Either you're receiving counseling or you are a counselor. That's very much who this archetype, who this person can be. Very good one as well. Very, very good, typical mainstream type of counseling or therapy or psychology, but also very good spiritual guide. And again, because of that second week's energy and first, you have literally another balanced and aligned. Whoa, that was my window again. You see that? The wind is going crazy again. This is the 10 of Cups. This is a very happy card. This is literally like a harmonious, happy family life, marriage. It's just pure happiness, especially emotionally. Extreme emotional happiness. It's like everything you've ever wanted. That's what this card represents. You feel like you're on cloud 9. But more than anything, like I said, that came from alignment, taking the time to understand what helps you balance and align yourself, because that's how you can be better toward the people that you're involved with in your everyday life that matter very much to you, that you love. Okay. Yeah, because again, we had underlying that the Empress, which is a nurturing energy. So you're able to nurture because you found the balance between male and feminine energy, and you're not ashamed of either or. Oh, wow. Holy crap. Huh. Third week, first card, meditate. You got the Magician. So, of course, this is the card of Gemini. You could be either involved with a Gemini or have a lot of Gemini in your chart. But beyond that, it really just says to me that meditation, integrating, guides you and helps you to be directed and to direct your life through being that master manifester, the magician, the one who sees the future clearly. You know where you're growing to and where you're going, because you're choosing where you're going to go. This is very much, I feel the third week is all about that visualization. Visualizing where you want to go from this point forward. Libra. Oh, I don't think that's it. For some reason, I'm guided to keep shuffling Libra. Oh. Wow. Did you see that? All those cards came out, but this is the one that came out, right? Upright. So, looks like that's correct for us. Wow. Strength at the bottom of the deck. Underlying 6 of Pentacles. That's amazing. Because also, of course, the strength, as I've said about the Magician representing Gemini, the Strength card represents Leo. So, I've got to mention, you could have a Leo in your life, or you could have a Leo in your chart, very much so, which is what actually gives you the strength and courage in your heart when you meditate and you are connected back to your heart to align, to find that balance. It's really interesting because so far for these 3 weeks, every 2 cards, the second card for each week represents that alignment, represents, balance. So once you meditate, when you do meditate and you become this magician again, the master manifester, this is when you find that you have support, you find community, communion. You're very generous because you feel rich inside. You feel valued, and you are. And you have gratitude for all of the treasures that you possess, that are inside of you and that you have around you. Equality, especially, is a big thing. You don't feel like you're less than. But again, this reminds me of what I said in the beginning. I'm going to go back to what I said about your lineage. this reminds me of that. It's like the tree of life, it looks like almost. You know, where do your roots come from? Look into your roots, because that will help you become this and have this. And actually, if you already are and you do, I feel like you're feeling extremely grateful for that, because it's helping you understand yourself. Again, like I said before. Yeah, totally. I just realized, because 100%, because this is 22, which is number 4. If you put those two together, and the 4th house is your foundations, your roots, your family. That's crazy. It's also, it could represent the mother, your mother. Structure in general. And that gives you strength. When you have that, when you find that structure, when you find what your roots are all about, who your roots are, it's what provides you with the strength to be who you really are. Maybe you felt like you don't know who you are until this point. And maybe that's what this month has been all about. Communion with your, whoa. Did you see that? Holy shit. Communion with your true blood. Don't know why I wanted to say blood, but yeah. All right, guys. So then, wow. Yeah, okay, guys, this must really, whoever I'm talking to, this must really have to do with that, with family. Some of you may be adopted, I'm seeing, or I'm feeling. And in the 3rd week, you finally find your roots. You find who you are, and you feel comfortable in your own skin. And that gives you strength and power to be your own authority of your life. And then we have we find that your struggles are gone. Blocks have lifted. You have the freedom now to move forward. You can run with the fire. You have inspiration and so many thoughts coming from the heart, passion, a very high level of energy, and there's nothing stopping you. So it's like you have a goal and you go there, because there's no more wondering. There's no more feeling alone. You have a clear plan at this point. It's not iffy anymore. That's amazing. Oh, man. Wow. Underlying that is the Page of Cups, or the Page of Mirrors, or the Healer in this deck. Look at that, the Healer. Amazing. One more card. One more card for my Libra peoples, my Libra friends. I love you guys. That's amazing, seriously. I'm so sorry if you guys have felt that way. You're never alone. Trust me on that. Oops. Wow. What? Oh my God. Okay, so some of you may truly be writers, musicians, poets. Definitely poets for many of you. Absolutely. Beautiful poetry that you probably maybe have always written, or that you are extremely inspired to write once all of this revelation happens for you. Because you have the poet here, clarifying the last card, which is stay in your own skin. The poet, or the King of Scrolls, which is the King of Swords in traditional tarot, which is the element, again, like I said, of air. That would be you. And there's a bunny rabbit here, which tells me that means, again, abundant with ideas, fertile with ideas and inspiration. It's that you've found a way to be structured, to have routine now in your life, because you're going to go forward and hit that goal, hit that target. This is, again, you're the power. You are in your own skin. This card literally represents power and authority. And what was I saying this entire time about this card? And because you're in your own skin, because you find confidence in yourself and power and authority over your own life, you have that self-discipline to get to where you want to be, because you finally have that clear vision. This is the person who is very good at discerning who and what is good for them and what is not good for not only them, but the people that they love as well. And again, just to close this all out, or finish the circle here regarding family, guys, is the Four of Wands. Jackson. Jackson. And that's beautiful because, wow. The Four of Wands is home, celebration, and more than anything, community. Community, Libra. Wow, that is amazing that closed it all out. Like, are you kidding me? The happy home life that you've sought. The stable and happy, very happy, celebrated home life. Okay. So, queso chief. Don't know why I had to say that. Okay. So last but not least, guys, I'm going to do one of my favorite things, which is my favorite part, which is to shuffle for your animal totem oracle card. Now, this is the animal that you may notice or noticed in this month of April that has a message for you, okay? And you might see it wherever you see it. It does not matter. I say that always, because you could see it in the clouds. You could see it in a tree formation. You could see, your mind could perceive that visual as what this animal looks like. You could see it on TV. You could see it in real life. Either way, it is for you. And how it applies is whatever you were trying to weigh in your mind, whatever you're thinking deeply about, right before you notice this being. The message that it has for you can be applied and integrated into that thought. Libra. April. Oop. What animal? Oh, wow. Did you see how that came out? That came out like this in the deck. Are you kidding me? Wow. Guys, that's amazing. You got the deer. The message here I'm going to put here so you can screenshot it if you'd like to have on hand. Up to you. The message of the deer says, symbolism, instinctual energy, independence, and regeneration. Particularly, I want to emphasize regeneration. Bottom of the deck, regeneration. Wow, I just realized too, look at this. The deer in the last card, clarifier, deer. Huh. Cool, beautiful. Okay. Graceful, swift, and elusive, the deer has symbolized the powers in nature that are not easily subdued. A deer's antlers, which are shed and regrown each year, are specifically associated with regeneration and renewal. A swift deer with golden antlers was sacred to the Greek goddess Artemis, whose realm encompassed the wilderness and instinctual, untamed things. A deer is also a symbol that summons individuals to a calling or journey. Wow. It has frequently appeared in legends and myths as a creature that lures a hunter or knight into the wilderness. In the legend of King Arthur, a deer leads Sir Gawain into the wood to begin his adventures. Wow. So if you have a significant encounter with a deer this month, guys, I can tell you I had one. I had a significant encounter with a deer in July of last year. I rhymed again. How funny is that? The poet. No, but I did, and my life has been very different since, okay? I've had a lot of symbols and messages come through to me since that time, and it did absolutely speak to or speak on what this is saying. So I'd love to know if you guys have had any significant interactions with a deer or deers recently, because that's very powerful for you right now. This is extremely powerful. Particularly regarding this journey for you. Wow, yeah. Yeah, some of you have a serious, beautiful, very important to the world journey and message, particularly a very special message for the world that this is telling you you need to share. That's what you're here for. That is your special gift. It's your beauty and your power. And I think through finding out perhaps your lineage or something along those lines, you learn something obviously this month. And so whatever it is that you learn has to do with this journey and this calling that you are led to. And maybe it gives you finally the strength to move forward on that. Maybe you've always known, but this was that last push you've needed to really, really bring you there, or really light the fire within you to go ahead, to not wonder anymore, to not stay back, to go forward. Absolutely. This is, whatever this is from all of this reading, it has brought you back to life. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Something that you're going to find out that's going to be illuminated to you, or that has been, is exactly what was meant to occur, and is exactly what's awakening you and activating you to do this thing. So yeah, wow. I hope that this reading has helped you guys understand maybe some things that you were wondering about, and if you needed that like last affirmation or confirmation, well, hopefully this has been it for those of you that I was picking up on. I love you guys very, very much. And of course, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask in the comments below or email me, as well as you can email me for a personal reading at ariatruth@gmail.com, which will also be in the description box below, like I said, as well as every deck that I've used here today. Okay, guys? I love you so much. Happy Libra full moon. Woo! Yeah. And I will be back actually at the, toward the end of this month, which is coming up, but towards the end of this month, for all 12 signs, for kind of a mini energy check-in reading, okay? So we're going to check in, see where the energy is at that point. It'll be a lot shorter, of course, but beyond that, I'll be back in May, very beginning of May, for the May readings. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of August. Oh my God, I almost said August. What's up with that? August. Didn't I say some of you might have Leo in your chart, or a Leo of importance? Well, August, I believe, is still Leo season. Yes, it is. My mom's a Leo, by the way, and she's a Libra rising, so hey! So, yeah, interesting. Or something in August might be really important for you or happening. Anyway, in any case, I will be back next month in May. Love you guys. Bye.